I think it was just like the next day, I found the King James Treasury. So Russell had always taught me to pay forward as you go. God bless you. And I'm very sorry, Daddy, you were mind therapied by Brent right after you'd come home from the sanitarium, just before I was mind therapied. I am so sorry, Father. Brent Bates watch swings you without authorization for you to do all kinds of crazy stuff. I'm remembering the words he was saying. It was later in life you'd become a drunk, all kinds of shit, that you'd be mean to me, not help me in the last days, that you'd friend up with all the Illuma, and then he tricked me and you, and he tried to say that he would bring you out so that you could just go in and take them all out. But see, Brent didn't do that. He tried to frame me for murder of Tiny's son and blackmailed the clubs and had Tim Gunning Jr. filming on Euclid to get both the clubs through Conrad's sin. It was all part of Mark Banky's plan. And then they were going to kill off the clubs when the Japanese came up out of the tunnels and surrounded the city. And then he was going to have them dig up the nukes, raise the silos, hit the world, and then they were going to pull out the rocket launcher on St. Mary's Lake and anthrax the Japs. And then Mark and them figured there'd be just spirit of them few that would ever live. Yeah. And so, Father, I wanted to tell you the plan was by Gerald Ford. When I had you sworn in, you were allowed to sell drugs through DEA. You were supposed to sign up both clubs here in Battle Creek as my protection and allowed to move through DEA. And Linda Bates came down, had Brent mind therapy you. Then she had sex with you and got pregnant, blackmailed you, I remember. And then Brent found out that was Tiny's son, and he went up in that trailer and killed that boy with that bow. He shut the camera off across the street. Yes, I'm a visionist. I know about the Cameron. He did the same thing at 956 Golden. Brennan shut the camera off, strangled that girl in the bedroom, and framed a man. It's unfortunate. I am scared to fucking death to have to expose this, but I'm trying to save you guys. And I know we've got dead cops, but if them silos get raised and that anthrax gets sprayed, there'll be none left. And I've got Ezekiel's ship above me, gives me power, especially at night. Less gravitational pull. You know, when everyone says, for they heard the Lord's voice, my voice travels. Even the animals and insects come pay me homage. And they know who I am. So I'm asking, please help me. Father, you were supposed to sign up both the clubs. And instead, Linda and Brent blackballed them, mind therapied us, and caused this big masterpiece of betray, death, and destruction. And then he just tried to frame me again for murder. Got my son up in Tiny's trailer, and my son comes out with that left-handed bow. I didn't even realize it until that night when I got home. Who the hell's it was? Like I said, the strangulation marks didn't match back then. They knew it. Russell was investigating it, trying to keep peace with the clubs. Brent insisted it was the Chadwicks. That was all lies. I am very sorry. My apologies to both clubs that I was mind therapied and Russell was stroked. We would have got the truth to you then, and a lot of this betrayal would have never happened today. I had a dream. You clubs are going to be all united, running a one union workforce across the nation again, and Tiny was going to be in charge. And Danny, you guys were going to ride all white Harleys with black crosses in suits and cowboy boots and leather jackets, and come to my church out there at the family altar, and I was going to share that $100 million with all of you, buy you all new bikes. I went around giving several packages to the clubs when I was a boy as a gift. I'd left films and packaged to each club as a gift to show you that the Levins were human trading and betraying us. Yes, I did give the films that Mark was on, other than the very first one I had to turn into the president, and that was the Circle. This is just all crazy. So, Father, I'm asking you to make this right. Ford was never to be in this state again. We need to contact NASA. Yes, there's a satellite watching your yard on Bard Street, always has. Yes, Father, you have a presidential badge to arrest or kill anyone to protect me who has conspired against my murder. You were supposed to sign everyone up, the clubs, and Lyndon Brent didn't ever have that happen. Instead, they just betrayed me again, following me around, drugging me. Yes, I found out they were drugging my weed with this chemical that's been going around. Fentanyl. Damaged my teeth. Yeah, it did. It really did. My son noticed it. Come home and I said, son, this joint, what is this? He noticed it right away. And I didn't even know it. I was receiving them from friends who I'd found out later knew and associated with Brent and Linda Bates. Yes, Brent Bates was with the Burgess, conspiring against Nicole. Yes, Brent Bates and Michelle Gunning were taking my son around. Yes, he had my son put in a foster home in Albion, I guess, while I was locked up also. I'm just finding out. There's been a lot of betray here. If you break the basement wall, the west wall of the family altar chapel, there's supposed to be 2 pallets of $50 million on each pallet there with a picture of me and Russell Bates and my grandfather. Manuals for the city and the world, of power plants and technology. I had Christmas presents in there wrapped and ready for that Christmas, and I got mine snuffed. There's a white necklace in a small gift box for Miss Becky. There was many crowns from the treasury of King James, the crowns of Trent. Can't remember how many there are. There was a bunch, and they're solid gold full of gems, and they're very, very heavy. Very, very heavy. Solid, thick gold. The biggest crowns, heaviest crowns you'd ever seen. And I'd had it set up to Everyone that come to my church would wear their crowns for church, then just put them back. Put them back when they left, since you can't remove an artifact from a church. That's the law. And then there's letters to my whole high school class. I had sat and personally wrote a personal letter to Kathy Ryder, Brad Lefevre, Troy Brandt, Miss Turner, Laura Turner, many friends of mine. Actually, my whole 1985 high school class at Harper Creek, I sat down and wrote a personal letter to every one of you. I put a bill in each one, Secret Service $1,000 bill. And then at that time, they were all supposed to have been mailed out. They're already postmarked and stamped. And I had wrote the future, so it was going to be fun because you were supposed to get the letter, open it up, and it was supposed to tell you where you were at that given moment in time in your life. And then to explain who I am. There was also letters there at the church behind that wall telling the world how to resolve this. I wrote world peace at the age of 7. I might have been older than that. Might have took me longer. It's all there. I have crowns for my Queen of England. There's a crown in there for the Queen of every continent in this world. I am for blood. Yes, an angel leaped in me, like the Bible says. He liveth in me. He carries me through. He even helps me in my failures, even in my unawares. He leads me in places like now of my unawares. And then gives me vision. And then let's talk, it's this angel. I get to see all the past battles and loves that they've had, men and women, Joan of Arc, Catherine, many, Lancelot, Crazy Horse, many nights this angel's lived in. And it's a great opportunity and a blessing for me to be able to witness and be this as a man. And I want to share it. And all this evil wants to kill me over money. And seeing that money's just printed paper. Now that gold is solid mass. And God needs that gold for his ships. Electromagnetivity on gold. And when he comes, the wise men give gifts of gold. It's so simple. We're supposed to drink our water off of copper. The light from the copper in the dark purifies it. There's so much knowledge I have to share that I want to share with the world. I got people out there telling people I'm on drugs, that I drink, I smoke the herb. That is all. Other than that, I don't take pills, I don't take aspirin, nothing else. And he leads me through like I can open up an encyclopedia, and he just leads me to treasure. This house I'm at now, these two sockets are laying sideways. God's told me right outside this window there's buried money and treasure. And then out back behind it, underneath that clothesline post, is another bar of gold. And I can do this all the way down the street. I can walk over here next door. I already did. In between the two front doors, in the center of that house, there's buried treasure there in the front. I can go over to the church across the street and show you where there's treasure there. I can walk over to this pond and show you where that nuke is, where it's fenced in Battle Creek City. Sewer, water, works, where they housed them before they moved them. I can go house to house and do this. The sad thing is I also see evil too. Sometimes it takes places. Mostly he only allows me to see the evil that I need to see now to expose this plot and end this. I did help Jack Schroeder solve the King case in Marshall. That's why he donated his monies off his books to children with cancer. He did. We kept our friendship a secret. After that had happened, he had loved me so much he didn't want me to partake in criminal anymore. And after the Paul Featherstone murder, he ended it. He wouldn't help me anymore. He didn't want me doing criminal because he said that I would get killed. So he never asked me or associated with me after that until I had gotten to KPEP and he was down there doing my father classes. At that time, my memory wasn't even back yet. I'd wondered why he was being nice to me. Now he's dead. And now that my memory's back, I don't even get a chance to thank him for the kindness that he'd shown me. So a lot has been taken because of this mind therapy. You'll find Jim Hazel and Barbara Dean Lindstedt and Rex Dean Lindstedt took the circuit board out of that cassette recorder, had it patented in a new heart monitor machine that they own, and then they put it in the ambulances and have been mind therapying our people in the ambulances. They've also been using the Life Care in Springfield. You can test my visions. The president did. And they were 99%. So he swore me in. God's coming in ships. He sent me a legion that are zeroing in around the world. They will be monitoring. They are monitoring now. They are zeroing in on all nuclear capability and power sources around the world. It is a must. If these silos get raised, my ships will have to do what they have to do to stop the destruction of the earth. Unfortunately, there will be much death and destruction. I will only be able to go in a short radius and save only a few. until God comes here with the rest of his ships. It's electromagnetivity. They generate power through the rainbows. So you magicians out there and you atheists, your superstitious powers ain't shit. It's electromagnetivity through the rainbows from God's ships. I receive power from my ship. Cloud followeth me like Moses. Yes, I'm very angry. And that's why I'm Michael the Warrior. That two-edged sword, guardian of the garden. The angel that liveth in me is never left. He just jumps from men to men, women to women. When he leaves my body, he'll leave like a ghost. Wipe out all the evil in their sleep and hook up to another. Of God's angels choosing, yes, he raises our people. Yes, he takes them back to planet Nebula. System Zephyros, I was told. So boy, I was kind of confused. The Nephilim in Genesis 6 that were here before the flood and hereafter, it says they always leave out. We are four bloods. We are the angels. You just don't understand that, do you? We are the angels. All tribes, tongues, and creed are God's seed. Technology, they left Earth, found a new home for us to be able to live on. Takes much time to return. God leaves a guardian angel with Ezekiel's ship. I believe there are two, because I sent Lisa back to get God as a boy in my ship. My elders told me I would have to go underground and stay hidden because I wouldn't have my ship to raise me. Later, I found that untrue. I was raised shortly later. So now I realize that two-edged sword, because of rotation of the earth and the gravitational pull, electromagnetivity, I have two ships. In other words, when one is on one side of the world, one is on this side. And that way all the priests across the world that were given tools that God would put power in through his ships would continually have power on a daily, nightly basis, because the ship would always be above. There is so much knowledge for me to share with the world, and technology I've never, ever, ever, ever before. If you research Chinese and Japanese old paintings, they show men with bows. They show 4 colors of men. If you look, shooting bows with lasers, swinging on ladders. Research my pictures, friends, folk, city, nation, my world. God's almost here. Please don't let our earth be destroyed because of these evil people that came to Battle Creek, that left England and thought they could take over the world from a man's fantasy, a man-made idea that's done nothing but cause death, destruction, and starvation. Before I could save this video, ruin my speech because of your wicked evilness and murdering and betray. See, you betrayed. See, you're trying to kill me. See, I'm asking the clubs on this. You're contracting me for a murder you fucking did. I didn't. I didn't have a fucking thing to do with it. See, that's why I'm asking the bosses to step in on this. And this man's scared to death, but God's promised me, when you attack me, God's promised me. Back through my videos today, and I started noticing that they were wiping out quite a few statements off a lot of my videos. Bleeping during names and stuff like that.